Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise again today to draw attention to the epidemic in our military of rape and sexual assault. 19,000 women and men each year are raped or sexually assaulted in the military. Shockingly, almost one-third of female veterans of all generations say they have been sexually assaulted or raped while in the military. And more than 70% say they experience sexual harassment while serving. In 2008, the Department of Veterans Affairs reported a total of 48,106 female veterans and 43,693 male veterans screened positively for military sexual trauma. The prosecution rate of sexual assault is alarmingly low. Only 8% of sexual assailants were referred to courts-martials or military court, compared with 40% of similar offenders in the civilian system. This travesty is not being addressed, and I will continue to speak out on this floor until it does. Survivors can email me at stopmilitaryrape@mail.house.gov if they would like to speak out. Today, I would like to tell the story of one of the 8% that were prosecuted, the story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having pornography on his government computer, sexually harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy. Colonel Robertson routinely touched them without permission on their breasts, thighs, and buttocks, and encouraged them to look at pornography on the computer. Some testified the harassment occurred daily. Sadly, the military careers of these 8 women who bravely did the right thing are almost assuredly destroyed. A major who filed a claim against Robertson said, quote, "I don't know if my career was in jeopardy for doing the right thing. Who in the Corps who supported you is going to trust you in the future?" Unquote. Despite repeated warnings, Colonel Robertson also emailed pornography to friends and female subordinates. A lieutenant colonel who was the chief nurse under Robertson's command said his command style split the staff and created a toxic environment. What makes the defense's answer to all these actions? That all of these jokes and the touching were attempts to boost morale. How much more outrageous must the excuse become before we do something about it? So what is the punishment for someone in the military convicted of 14 counts of assaulting and harassing his subordinates who was assigned to protect? Is he sent to prison for being a predator? Is he stripped of his standing in the military? Oh, no. Colonel Robertson was ordered to pay a $30,000 fine over 3 months and spent 3 months in prison. Colonel Robertson will retire from the Army when he finishes his sentence. His conviction won't affect his Army retirement or his federal health insurance, and he will not be required to register as a sex offender. It doesn't take a military expert or a psychologist to figure out that sexual assault and harassment hurts not only the individual victim, but undermines unit cohesion, morale, and overall effectiveness. The absolute failure to address this behavior is hurting our military. Colonel Robertson, the majority of assailants are older and of higher rank than their victims. They abuse not only their authority, but also the trust of those they are responsible for protecting. The current military structure serves as a safe haven for sexual predators. They either are never brought to justice at all, or they receive a sentence like Colonel Robertson that doesn't come close to match their crime. That's why this week I'll be introducing a bill that would fundamentally change how sexual assaults are handled in the military. My bill will take the prosecution, the reporting, the oversight, the investigation, and the victim care of sexual assaults out of the hands of the normal chain of command and place the jurisdiction in the hands of an impartial office staffed by experts both military and civilian. I've become painfully aware that if DoD continues to address this issue at its current pace, the epidemic of military assault will never end.